Waking up is Saturday, it's time for the game. In Edge we gather, passionate in the flame. Stockport County's colors, blue and white shine. With the roar of the fans, we toast to the divine. Every corner we conquer, together we rise. Here's to Stockport County, let the anthem ring. In the heart of Edgeley, where the joy we bring. With every kick, every pass, we're ready to fight. Underneath the floodlights, everything feels right.
Hello and welcome to the Cheadlehead Podcast, the Stockport County fan podcast. We have got loads of tough stuff to talk about today. We've got Rob as usual, and Calvin's not got any holidays right now, so he's with us as well. Hi lads, how you doing?
I'm okay.
I'd like to say I'm good, but after being dragged down to the barbers this week and tied down while he shaved me, I've rather not. But I was going to wear a fan hub cap, but obviously with them sponsoring Bristol yesterday, I thought against it. I should have worn me bucket hat instead.
It would have kept your head warm. And
Definitely.
maybe you need your bucket hat as well, Calvin.
Never wearing one. Never.
One day. Okay, before we get on to the game yesterday, we do have some news. First of all, we are proud to announce that we are not only just on YouTube, we are now on PODBEAN, one of the biggest growing podcast providers out there. We aren't sponsored by them, well, not yet anyway, but we are on there. So if you want to listen to our drivel in the car, out walking, I don't know, do the dishes, then download the app and give it a listen.
We also have a new website with news, latest social media updates, and your chance to get your own Cheadlehead podcast mug or bucket hat. We'll leave the link in the description below.
Okay, county news now, and what a week it's been for Torre, as he was the top performer in the EFL Fantasy League with 13 points. He's definitely someone to pick if you're doing the EL Fantasy League. I've not done Fantasy League for quite a while. I don't know if you guys are doing one or doing the EFL Fantasy League.
I don't do it purely because every time I've done the Premier League fantasy in the past, I always finish near the bottom. I'll pick players that I think will do really well and they get injured or they don't play well. And then I swap them out and they start playing well, so I just don't do it now.
No, I used to do the Premier League one quite a few years ago, but it's kind of not something I do anymore.
You've got to really keep on it though, don't you? And change your squad all the time. I just don't have time for that.
It does kind of keep you on, like looking into all of what other teams are doing and things, and what your players are doing in them teams. But yeah, it's ain't got with other stuff going on. It's takes too much time to do it nowadays.
Yeah, true. Right, the home tie against Reading on Saturday, the 7th of September, has been postponed. That's due to international call-ups on the away side. The rearranged fixture hasn't been announced yet. I'm sure it will be in the moment this podcast goes live. But when it does, we'll let you know. And forget Hollywood, there has been a better award season as county players have been enjoying more success with awards of their own off the pitch. Inchliff, Torre and Horsfall has received awards for being in the Team of the Year. That's the PFA League Team of the Year, and I'm quite disappointed that Calvin didn't sing the Horsfall chant that he does normally to his wife, but maybe next time. Hinchcliffe has already he also got an award for the Golden Glove, and I think that's why he's at county this season.
I'd just like to say as well, Watton signing his 3-year contract. That was some news that I personally was glad to hear. I think it's good news for the team. I think it's good for morale. And it'll give him a boost knowing you've got the big man up top. I think he's been fantastic this season. His hold-up play, his ability to bring Barry and Olafi into the game when they've been on, it's fantastic. So I'm glad to see Watton signing his new contract.
Yeah, and also this news in this week is the signing of Oliver Norwood on a 3-year deal after he left Sheffield United. He played as a trialist in the Blackburn game and he shone then. And considering he made 27 Premier League appearances last season for Sheffield, I think it's a statement signing for County. Even if he does go against the kind of signing youngsters ethos that Stott was trying to instill pre-season. But going off the performance from him yesterday, I think there's some good things to come from him.
Are you happy with that signing, Calvin?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I mean, yesterday, for his debut, I thought he controlled that midfield. I think I said to you during the game that he's not a player that you're going to look at. He's not flash, but everything he did well. He looked calm, composed, and you could tell he had that little bit of experience from playing in the Premier League that this division, I think, will be fairly straightforward for him. I thought it was a fantastic signing. I wasn't sure when it first dropped. I wasn't really sure. I thought his age might be a bit of a problem. Like Rob said, the club wanted to bring in youngsters. But, yeah, he played well yesterday, and hopefully that's a sign of things to come once he gels in with the players. Could be one of the signings of the season for us.
And finally, we have news of the County Ladies got off to their season with a fantastic 3-0 win in the FA Women's National League Division 1 North, beating Norton and Stockton Ancients by 3-0. That's the news. Now let's turn our attention to the game. Yesterday, we did get predictions before the game, but due to a technical error where there was no audio, don't know why, it seems that we can't use them today, but there was a lot of, again, positive County fans and even Bristol Rovers fans when we spoke to them before the game. They were not seeing their team winning at all, and County did go on to win. And it's the first time County have won their opening 3 games in 48 years. They've had a good turnout, though, and I thought Bristol Rovers had a good turnout considering it was nearly kick-off and how far that they travelled, lads.
Yeah, it was almost a sellout for the away fans, wasn't it? It was there's a few hundred there. It was as you say, good turnout considering it was the 12:30 kick-off.
Yeah, and it was on the Sky Sports Plus as well, so could have easily decided not to turn up, but yeah, good numbers from the away fans. Apart from really slow service in the concourse and struggling to carry in open bottles, food, and a walking stick that nearly made me miss kick-off. But the first half did kick off, Rob. Who do you think started the better?
We brought our own bottles this week. It saves the spillage with no lids on them when it scores, so we didn't have that issue. But I thought Bristol were the better team for the first half. They had quite a few chances in the first few minutes that were either saved or last gasp defensive blocks and clearances. I felt we were lucky to still be 0-0 after like 5 or 6 minutes. But yeah, I thought the first half, that we needed to be a bit quicker on the ball. They were a lot more physically, there's a lot more of a physical presence and seemed to press us quite a bit. And we couldn't get into their half for long in the first half hour or so, or at least up to the goal. There was 6 minutes, there was that Adia Fright as well, where he miskicked it and then kind of headed it and then kind of strolled back to his goal like nothing was happening as they were still on the attack. But apart from that, it was he didn't really have much else to contend with.
Yeah, the game was tight. I was 0-0 with less than 10 minutes to go of the first half, and it was looking more likely to be 0-0 at the end, Calvin, but it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I think I think we grew in that first half. I thought the first half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, I think they looked probably a bit more threatening without actually threatening. And I said to you, I think during the game, that it's going to take a mistake somewhere that's going to lead to a goal, because we were, both teams not conceded all season. We thought, it's going to be 0-0. And I said to you, didn't I? It's going to take a mistake. Their defender loops a header up into the air, and Barry just does Barry things, I suppose. What was it he did? I do this every week. It's a fantastic finish. What a player he's been this season. He's been absolutely tremendous. But yeah, it was a good finish. And then we closed out that first half. I don't think Bristol really looked in the game then for the rest of that half, at least.
Yeah. Should have really been 2, though, before half-time, Rob.
Yeah, there was that shot from Camps about 2 minutes from half-time. And then the kind of keeper save, but it went to Wotton, and there was kind of a bit of a pinball effect, but nothing came of it. But yeah, it should have been 2.
Yeah, at half-time in the game, Calvin, when it was, and we were sat there at half-time, what did you think of the first half?
Like I said, I thought Bristol Rovers came out quick. They looked like they'd come to win. They didn't look like they were just going to sit back. I think in League 2 is a massive difference to League 1, because the amount of teams that came to us last year, and they just sat and let us build up in the game. Bristol sort of tried to come at us, but I think we grew in that first half. I thought we ended it the stronger team. And yeah, I thought probably just about, I probably thought a draw or being level at that time was probably about right, but you take any goal you get, don't you? So,
yeah. Second half, Rob, who improved most in the opening stages of the second half?
I don't know whether it was the half-time team talk by Chandler giving him a wake-up, or the confidence of coming out with a 1-0 lead. But the whole team seemed to come out fired up for the second half. I think Will Collar made a few early chances for this second half, with that low shot to the bottom corner that the keeper just managed to push wide round the post. But overall, I think it was a better start by most of the players early on.
Yeah, and Bristol, got to say, they did have the chances in the first half, and how they played in the first half. Galvin, did you expect them to maybe be a little bit better than they were in that second half?
I think I did. I think, to be honest, I thought they'd be. I thought they'd come out a bit more aggressive. They've got some good players on the team, so I expected them to come out and make life difficult for us. But to be honest, at 1-0, they didn't. They never looked like scoring. We never looked like letting them score, really. So yeah, I was disappointed with their performance. I thought they'd be the toughest game we'd have this season, if I'm honest. But it actually proved to be not the case.
Yeah. County, though, did go 2-0 up, Rob, and quite an impressive goal.
Yeah, it was a corner, wasn't it? The Wotton scored it. It seems to be a carbon copy of every other corner of the game. So they've obviously been practicing it from the training ground, hitting the long corner and then Horsfall heading it back into the box again. And then obviously Wotton chested it and scored the goal. I think Rovers had a few more chances after that, but as Calvin said, it never really looked like they were going to score anything after that point.
Yeah, but County, though, they could have and should have made it 3. And Wotton's second, nearly, I think it was trying to be a bit like Barry with that half volley, but how do you see that one from your angle, Calvin?
To be honest, when he hit it, I was a bit like, what are you doing here, big man? Do you know what I mean? Where you shouldn't be here. You should be in the, but again, he's confident. Why not? Just go for it. you know, and on another day it would have been in the back of the net and we'd have been celebrating a third. So it was just one of them. It was a good effort, but sadly wasn't meant to be.
It was that February one as well, wasn't there? Where he kind of, was it from a corner or something where he kind of did it on the volley as well, and
it was similar to the goal as well. Horsfall headed it back across to him, and it was a good save from the keeper actually.
Yeah, ex-Man City and Celtic forwards Scott Sinclair had an excellent chance in that closing stages of the game, but he wasn't able to pull one back for the visitors. I think when we saw it at Calvin, we thought one thing, but you've managed to have a look back on it and you're thinking something else.
Yeah, from where we were stood, from the initial point, I thought Adai had saved it. And then you said, no, he didn't. And I was like, that's a terrible miss. But I've watched it back on the TV and he looked off balance. And I can't remember if it was Pye or Horsfall was sort of right next to him. And it looked like he just got distracted. So it wasn't as bad a miss as it looked from our angle. But a player of his quality, you know, he's played in the Scottish Premiership and in the Premiership with City, and you'd expect him to score that. So, yeah, it was one of those. On another day, they could have had that goal. So, but thankfully for us, they didn't. So,
and it did finish 2-0. And the Hatters make it 3 wins from 3, still sitting at the top of the table, and they're still yet to concede a goal. A great start to life in League One. Now it's time to look back on the prediction leaderboard. Currently on the leaderboard, we have Calvin right at the top of the leaderboard with 3 points, myself on 2 points, and Rob at the bottom with 1. We get 2 points for a correct score, 1 point for a correct result, and no points for being completely wrong. We all predict a county win this time around, but none of us got the correct results, so we all get just the 1 point each. And we are going to have a look now at the next week's game, where County travel to Nottinghamshire to face Nigel Clough's Mansfield. Just before we do the prediction, though, we're going to go out and find out who goes first with a new feature. Look at this. Like that. So for those who can't see, we've got a spinning wheel right in the middle. And we're going to decide who's going to give the first prediction, because I always have it random. But now it's officially random with a spinning wheel. Ooh. The first person I'm going to get the prediction from is Rob.
Okay, so Mansfield, they got promoted with us last season, didn't they? I'm going to be a bit more kind to our clean sheets, because obviously every game so far I've predicted that we're going to concede. I'm thinking it's going to be a bit of a tougher game, because Mansfield have always been one to put a tough game out for us. So I'm going to just go with a 1-0 win for County.
Oh, that'll be 4 games in a row that County have not conceded.
Mm-hmm.
But now Rob said they're going to not concede. They're going to concede now. So if they do concede, oh no, sorry, blame this guy.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. So the next person to give it is myself. I am going to stick with Rob. County have done well. I think after last result for Mansfield, where they got, was it spanked 4-1 or something? Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0 County. Yeah, I've done it now. I've done it. 2-0 County. I think you've just got enough. They've improved this year. Mansfield are struggling. Slow start, yeah, definitely. And yeah, 2-0 County. I'll do the last spin for you, Calvin.
I thought you were going to not spin for me then. I was like, I want to spin, you know. Is it going to be me?
Yay!
I get
Calvin's
to predict. Nice. I'm going to go I'm going to stick with my original things that I've been doing. I'm going to go for a 2-1 County win. I think they will concede at last. I think it's only a matter of time before they do. But I think we've got enough with Wootton, Barry and Alafi going forward. And you've got Diamond and Fevry on that right-hand side. I think we've got goals in us. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Stockport win.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it, though, for this week of the Cheetah Lane podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Podbean, please give us a follow. But until next week, Rob?
I'll be there at the Mansfield game, so I'll get your predictions there, and I'll see you then.
Alvin?
I won't be there, sadly, but I'll be watching as best I can. So see you next week.
See you next week.